Hello everyone, welcome back to another album review, and in this video I'm going to review Defeater, self-titled. I was first introduced to Defeater with their first album, Travels, which was an album that I learned from a friend of mine who owned this on vinyl, and I listened to it and I thought it was a really decent and really nice post-hardcore album. The elements of melodic hardcore and hardcore punk were really strong on this album, and it had emotion to it, it had nice instrumentation, it was a well executed album. I haven't followed the rest of the catalog from the other albums they have done, but I decided to give a shot to this new album from Defeater, which is the self-titled one. This is their second studio full-length album on the label EPITAPH, and in my opinion, let's go straight to the point, it's a really good melodic hardcore album, still keeping the elements of post-hardcore and hardcore punk. This is still a solid album from the band, an album that in my opinion is really good in terms of instrumentation. There are some really nice progressions and some really good structures over the songs, and lyrically goes into a lot of sad themes, something that you can find for example out of a La Dispute album. In my opinion, taking this year's panorama, Defeater's new album is actually what I wanted from the new La Dispute album. We have excellent production, excellent songwriting, a mixing of vocals that sounds more emotional and more into the front, and so it gives a better feel to the whole context of the album, something that in my opinion really missed in Panorama. Also, I can say there is a great balance in between some more chill moments and others that are more heavy and aggressive. The band really knows how to create an emotional structure in between the songs. It knows how much each moment needs to be captured in order to express the feel it wants to without feeling rushed or feeling that it goes more than it should be. And then other than that, I would say it's just a matter of personal enjoyment. Me myself, I'm not the biggest expert on genres like melodic hardcore, so for me this album is not something that crazy, and I'm not into the place where I feel I can nitpick special parts about the album, the tracks that feel to be better or the tracks that feel to be the worst ones. In my opinion, this album works more as a whole context of an album rather than just picking tracks individually. So going for each track individually, in my opinion, it's a waste of time and it's not something that fits this sort of album. But my point is, even though I'm not the hugest fan of the genre and I'm not really that experienced with albums like this, when an album sounds good and it's performed well, then I notice it and I know that it sounds good. And this album is really good, I really enjoyed it. I think that the whole premise of it and the whole way it was executed is something that, like I said, I would expect from the likes of La Dispute, which I've heard some of the previous works and I thought that Panorama was underwhelming compared to their older stuff. Even though I haven't followed Defeater as a band, I really appreciate how it seems that they have kept their roots. It has the sounds and the emotions that I recall listening to their very first album, Travels, and I like how even though they go to the same direction, they just keep executing their projects in a really good fashion. And yeah, I don't have other things to say about this album. This is a really good recommendation for fans of melodic hardcore and post-hardcore music. Defeater once again gives justice to the genre with a really tight, well performed and well executed album. It's pessimistic, it's aggressive, it's passionate, it has a nice balance being both dark and atmospheric but also at other portions being energetic, angry, all that with some great melancholic melodic riffs and a solid poetic approach on lyricism. For all of this, this is a solid project that I ended up liking. I'm going to give this album a 7 out of 10. What's your opinion on this album? Like it, dislike it, why, and what do you want me to review next time? Let me know down in the comments. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video, subscribe for more content like this. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video. Goodbye.